9 here on the Radio Wammo Breakfast. Time to dig into some new science with Janine Young from New Scientist joining us in Melbourne City today. Morning, Janine.
Good morning to you.
And very shortly we're going to be talking now about some sticky tape that is extremely sticky. But first up, some controversy around some classroom teaching techniques. Is this in the States, is it?
It is, yes. There were some documents leaked last week or purportedly leaked, from a place called the Heartland Institute. It's a conservative institute that is attempting to, in particular, sow seeds of doubt, if you like, on the climate change debate.
Right.
This old chestnut, you say. Well, yes, this old chestnut isn't going away, unfortunately. The Institute hasn't confirmed the validity of the documents. It has only disavowed one of them. And it was actually leaked to environmental blogs. So there was supposedly this Heartland Insider, but no one's absolutely certain whether or not they're true. But no one would be surprised if they were, because there was a strategy document, a fundraising document, and a list of donors over the last decade or so. And the fundraising document in particular talks about developing materials for schools to help deal with the alarmist debate around climate change and the fact that principals and teachers are so biased towards being, positive towards climate change that something really needs to be done.
Right.
So what they're talking about doing is developing teaching materials to help teachers understand that the controversy is in fact out there and things are not quite as stable as they should be, and talking about alarming consensus among climate scientists.
Alarming
Consensus, yes. It's all a bit concerning and alarming. There's that word again.
Yeah.
Because a survey of a whole bunch of science teachers, again in the United States, has found that, and it was nearly 2,000 of them, that a lot of them have been influenced, directly or indirectly, 36% in fact, to teach the other side of climate change, claiming that there is a controversy and that, the science is not solid and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that means that for those who actually believe that climate change is in fact junk science, and there is a proportion of them, in another survey it was 6%, it was only 53 teachers, but still 6% of 53 is a fairly high number.
It does, yeah.
I think it's junk science. So they'd be really receptive to these sorts of materials. And, if they're out there and they're presented properly, they can look like they're good, solid evidence.
Yeah.
But in fact, the evidence is pretty much all the other way. And that's the thing about theories in science. They're not your best guess. They're not where you sit there and do a ready reckoner and go, oh, yeah, I think that looks about right. That's not the way a theory in science works. You get an idea and you test the evidence against it. And if that evidence supports the theory, then your theory holds. And that's the whole point about climate change. There is a whole bunch of evidence that's backing it up, despite this alarming consensus that they refer to. So
it's kind of like teachers still debating whether or not the Earth is flat or round, and some teachers still believing that the Earth is flat, right?
Well, yes, in some respects I think it is. But this influencing the schoolroom is not new. It's been tried before. Certainly a whole bunch of state laws in the United States, because the curriculum is set at state levels in America. There's been bills that have been passed that means that teachers have to give the other side and they have to teach in a certain way. And also you see the same thing with creation science, as they call it. Yeah. They don't want to teach evolution because that's contrary to religious beliefs. Yeah. And again, evolution ain't a theory. It's been proven. There's evidence, that kind of thing. So this kind of approach is not new, but you certainly see that there will be some that are receptive to these materials, and it could influence thinking, debates.
Young minds.
Absolutely, and young minds, as we all know, are really, really impressionable. The fact that there's a reasonable amount of scepticism among students, apparently one of these surveys found that there's a reasonable amount of scepticism among these students anyway, yes, it's all a bit concerning, frankly.
Indeed. Well, this is an interesting story here about some sticky tape that is so sticky it could hold up a TV.
Sublime to the ridiculous. I like the way we do this on a Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Alfred Crosby and his team at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, so we're still in America, is not concerned with climate change. Instead, he wants to be able to stick really big televisions up on smooth surfaces like glass. And that's what really good sticky stuff can only really be good for when you think about it. They're nerds, they love television. Now, what they've done is been looking at not only the surface of a gecko's foot, and if ever you've been anywhere in Asia, you know about geckos. They stick to the ceiling, they run around, they're fast, they're agile, they're great little creatures. And they've been looking not only at the feet, but also at the tendons, the bones, the skin, and how the joint acts together to be able to make a stronger adhesive than is currently available. So they have a silicone adhesive pad that's attached to a stiff fabric tendon, if you like. It gives it that added strength, and it allows for a whole bunch of flexibility of movement. So we have a video on the website. You can actually see that basically what they do is just press it down onto some glass, put an 18-kilogram television on it, sit down, watch it for a bit, and then remove it. And there's no residue left on the glass. And they claim that it can hold up to 300 kilograms.
Holy heck.
Which on a smooth surface like glass is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is amazing. I guess it's nowhere near being a commercial product just yet.
No, not yet, but this is the first product that is potentially scalable up to large commercial sizes, because previous researchers have been looking at the feet of gecko alone, and they have little hairs on them, they're called setae, which then break into even smaller and become smaller and smaller and smaller, and they hold on to different surfaces using weak forces that when there's a whole bunch of them together become really, really strong. So this approach is slightly different than looking at the tendons as well as the whole joint, basically. So this is the first scalable approach that anyone has come up with using gecko feet. So watch out, you too can put your very big television on a very smooth surface sometime in the next few years.
Can't wait, because I've been looking to stick my television on the window. So
we talk about the important stuff here.
Yeah. You'll find these stories in the latest New Science magazine, also newscientist.com, and check out Janine on Twitter as well, twitter.com, JMY online. That's it.
That's me.
See you next week.
See you later.